Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the 25 bookish facts about me. I don't know if this is an actual tag video or if it's just something that a lot of people are doing right now, but I thought that would be fun for me to do. So without further ado, I'm going to get right on into it. The first bookish fact about me is that I give most books I read 4 stars, and that means that I am quite a generous book reviewer. If I give a book 3 stars, that means that I liked it, but I'm probably not going to reread it or continue with the series. If I give it less than 3 stars, that means that I probably didn't really like it. I don't really give many books 5 stars. The only books I give 5 stars are like my favourite books ever. So most books I read in general get 4 stars from me. The second bookish fact is that I sometimes invent characters based on myself and put them into my favourite series because it just helps me immerse myself in the world and spend time with the characters, and I absolutely love doing it. It's something I've done since I was a kid and I've just continued doing it into my adult reading life. If you guys don't do it, I thoroughly recommend it because it is awesome fun and it just adds like an extra dimension for yourself in your reading. I've been doing it with Harry Potter for literally years, so yeah. The third bookish fact about me is that I always overestimate how many books I can read in a month. If you've seen my TBR videos, you will know that I rarely read all of the books in those videos because at the start of the month I'm kind of like, yeah, it's a fresh month, I'm going to read all of the books, and then reading slumps happen and life happens and it just never really materializes, and it annoys me so much because I really would love to read more, but I just don't really have the time, or you know, stuff happens. I wish my life was entirely about reading, but sadly it's not. The fourth bookish fact about me is that Bookstagram is one of my favourite things in the world because I love looking at beautiful pictures of beautiful books. Some days I literally just spend hours scrolling through the Bookstagram hashtag on Instagram. If you guys don't do that, I thoroughly recommend it because it's just a lovely experience and there are so many amazing book photographers out there. So yeah, recommend that if you don't do it already. The fifth bookish fact about me is that I have way too many unread books. You see all these books behind me that are in the background of all of my videos. I've not read most of them and I hate that so much. The books that I have read, obviously I talk about all the time and I obviously share my opinions on. I really do need to cut down on my book buying though and actually read the books that I own. I know we all have this problem, but it is a problem and it's something that I really want to sort out. The sixth bookish fact about me is that I go to as many signings and author events as possible. See, this is my signed edition of Fangirl when I met Rainbow Rowell, and she was awesome, but whenever it gets to my turn in the line to get my book signed, I just kind of go a little bit blank and dumbstruck when I'm faced with someone that I really enjoy and admire, and I hate it because I just stand there really awkwardly with nothing to say, and I wish I did, and maybe like when I grow up then I will know what to say to people that I admire, because at the end of the day authors are just people too. So yeah, I hope that that improves. The seventh bookish fact about me is that I would love to write a book one day, and anyone that writes books, I am so full of admiration and love for you, and I want to be like you one day. It's on my bucket list to write at least one novel before I die, and I really hope that I do. It's just kind of like determination and motivation and the thought of committing to an idea for the length of a novel, because I have written like short stories and poems before. Half of my degree was creative writing. I have a degree in English literature and creative writing, so I did a lot of creative writing when I was at uni, but I finished uni 4 years ago now and I haven't really done it, and I would love to get back into it. So yeah. The eighth bookish fact about me is that whenever I meet someone new, I try to sort them into a Hogwarts house, and I don't think I am alone in the Harry Potter fandom in that. So if someone kind of has a witty sense of humour and they're quite intelligent, I feel like, oh, okay, you might be a Ravenclaw. If someone is a really good friend and they've worked hard to get to where they are in life, I'm like, oh, okay, you're probably a fellow Hufflepuff. Or if someone has a kind of burning ambition and they're determined to get to where they want to be, me, I'm like, you're probably a Slytherin. Or if someone takes a lot of risks and has a really kind heart, I'm like, okay, you're probably a Gryffindor. And I don't think that I'm the only Potterhead that does that. I think probably most of us do that, so no shame there. The 9th bookish fact about me is that if I see someone reading in public, I will try my absolute hardest to see what they're reading. I will, if the cover is kind of like hidden from me in some way, I will kind of like crane my neck round to try and see what they're reading. And I don't judge people for it. I'm just interested in what the general public is reading. And because I'm so socially awkward, it's not like I would start talking to them if I'd read and enjoyed the book myself or anything like that. I'm just interested in what other people are reading. The 10th bookish fact about me is that I always seem to fall in love with male angels and male fae. If I just hold up these books, I think you guys will know exactly who I'm talking about here. So whenever I read a book with male fae or angels in it, I get a new bookish boyfriend. I don't know what it is about them. I think it might just be the way that they're written. It might be a purely superficial thing, but I definitely have a thing for male angels and male fae. The 11th bookish fact about me is that Sarah J. Maas is the author that I would most like to meet, because I have read all of her books and loved all of her books, and I would hope that I would have things to say to her. Probably, to be honest, I would just stare at her awkwardly while she signed my books, as I do with every other author I've ever met. But Sarah, if you come back to London, I will try my absolute hardest to see you, because I know you have been to London since I've loved your books and I just couldn't make it, and it's honestly something I really, really regret. So, yeah. The 12th bookish fact about me is that I love horror books, but only during daylight hours, because I'm actually a huge wuss. I absolutely love the stories in horror books, and I love anything with supernatural creatures, but I have to read them during daylight hours, because if I read them just before I went to bed or when it was dark out, I would not get any sleep and I would be really tired and grumpy the next day. So, yeah. The 13th bookish fact about me is that my Kindle lives in my bag, because I have to have reading material whenever I'm out, and if my Kindle lives in my bag, then I always have that. I only really get it out of my bag to charge it, so yeah. The 14th bookish fact about me is that I have a fear of breaking spines and damaging books, and that's why I rarely take physical books out with me, because I feel like if they're in my bag with all my other jumble of stuff that's in there, then they're going to get damaged in some way. If I do take them out in my bag, I have them wrapped in another plastic bag to protect them. So, yeah. The 15th bookish fact about me is that I smell books all the time, and I absolutely love doing that, especially old books and secondhand books, because they tell a whole other story. I think that's got a whole history to them. I absolutely love smelling books. The 16th bookish fact about me is that I judge books by their covers all the time. This book is an example of that. Slightly wrongly, I judged it because I thought I was going to love it and I thought it was just okay, but it's a beautiful cover, and I absolutely love beautiful editions of books. I actively seek out beautiful editions of books that I want. The 17th bookish fact about me is that when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Jacqueline Wilson. Along with J.K. Rowling, Jacqueline Wilson was one of my favourite authors when I was a kid. I read all of her books. For some reason, this is the only physical book that I have left of hers. I gave all of my Jacqueline Wilson books away when I was having a clear out a few years ago now, but I do have some of her books on my Kindle, and I do occasionally reread them because they're just really fun and light, and they remind me of my childhood. If you guys haven't heard of Jacqueline Wilson, because I think she might be a bigger thing here in the UK, I think I would probably describe her as a sort of British version of Judy Blume. Maybe her books are possibly for a slightly younger audience than Judy Blume's, maybe. I'm not sure, because I haven't read that much Judy Blume, but I've always thought of her as a kind of British Judy Blume. But I absolutely love her books, and I do occasionally reread them. I absolutely love her so much. The 18th bookish fact about me is that my bookish buzzwords when I'm looking for a new book are mostly magic and independent, feisty female characters. I know that's not really a bookish buzzword, more like a bookish buzz phrase. But yeah, they are two main things that I look for when I'm looking for a new book or series to get into. The 19th bookish fact about me is that Game of Thrones is the only instant where I saw the book/TV series before I read saw the film/TV series before I read the books, and I'm quite proud of that. So every other book or series that I've ever read that has been made into a film or TV series, I've read the book before. Am I explaining that right? You guys know what I mean. Game of Thrones is the only instant where I saw the TV show before I read the books. And I'm really, really proud of that, because that's something that I actively try to do. And I hope that that is the case for all other books to film/TV adaptations that I get into. The 20th bookish fact about me is that book-related jewellery or accessories of any kind, or t-shirts or anything like that, are perfect gifts for me. Obviously, like, actual books are great gifts too, but I know that some people are a little bit reluctant to buy me books for birthdays and Christmas because they're not really sure which books that I already own. So anything book-related like that is a perfect gift for me. The 21st bookish fact about me is that I often binge watch book hauls on YouTube. I have an obsession with book hauls. I absolutely love them. They're so easy to watch. I'm really interested in what books everyone gets every month. I just love them. So the 22nd bookish fact about me is that I cannot go out without browsing bookshops or book sections of shops, and that's probably really unhealthy, and that's how I acquire so many books every month, but I just can't do it. If books are in the vicinity, I have to have a browse. I don't know why, but that's just part of my bookish love, I think. The 23rd bookish fact about me is that I would love a few book tattoos. There are some quotes that I would absolutely love. I would love happiness can be found in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light, which is of course from The Prisoner of Azkaban. I would also really love a tattoo of an open book with stars coming out of it. I would also really love mischief managed as well somewhere on me. But the thing with tattoos is they always look really, really beautiful to me, but I'm always kind of scared of pain. I'm scared of spending money. I'm scared of getting bored of it one day. But those are some tattoo ideas that I have that I would really like one day. So yeah, the 24th bookish fact about me is that I have a huge amount of bookmarks. My bookmark obsession is almost as big as my actual book obsession. So this is just a very small fraction of my bookmark collection. I have so many different types as well. I have this little dragon clip one as well. It's just, I don't know, I love them. I love them so much. So yeah, the 25th bookish fact about me is that I absolutely love long journeys. Whenever anyone is like, oh no, it's going to be hours on a train or hours on a bus, I'm like, yes, because of all the reading time I get to do, and I never ever get hours at a time to read, and I absolutely love long journeys for that reason. So they are the 25 bookish facts about me. What are some facts about you related to books or just life in general, I guess? Please let me know. I leave all of my social media down below as normal. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.